Hi guys. Today we are talking about Resident Evil 4. It was only a matter of time before Resident Evil 4, one of the most iconic entries in the series, was remade. Following the success of Resident Evil 2's 2019 remake, fans eagerly anticipated a new and improved version of Leon Kennedy's journey through the hellish gauntlet. And now, the wait is over, with the 2023 remake delivering a beautifully updated experience. The game is set 6 years after the events of Resident Evil 2, and follows the story of Leon Kennedy, who is now working as a government agent. The game has been praised for its tense and immersive gameplay, as well as its stunning visuals and sound design. In our review, we will be taking a closer look at the game's story, gameplay, and overall presentation. The story of Resident Evil 4 follows Leon Kennedy, who has been tasked with rescuing the president's daughter, Ashley Graham, who has been kidnapped by a mysterious cult in a remote village in Spain. As Leon, the player must navigate through the village, fighting off hordes of infected villagers and other creatures, while also uncovering the sinister plot behind the cult's activities. The story is engaging and well written, with plenty of twists and turns that keep the player guessing throughout. The game does an excellent job of building tension and suspense, and the voice acting and cutscenes are top-notch. The character of Leon is well developed, and the game does an excellent job of fleshing out his backstory and motivations. The gameplay in Resident Evil 4 is where the game really shines. While the original game had tank controls, the remake adopts the over-the-shoulder camera angle and modernized controls similar to those in Resident Evil 2 and 3 remakes. This change makes the game more accessible to new players who are not used to the clunky tank controls of the past games. The controls are smooth and responsive, and the combat is intense and satisfying. The game utilizes a third-person over-the-shoulder camera, which gives the player a great view of their surroundings while also adding to the game's tension and horror elements. One of the game's standout features is the inventory management system, which adds an extra layer of strategy to the game. The player must carefully manage their limited inventory space, deciding which weapons and items to carry and when to use them. The game also features a currency system, allowing the player to buy and upgrade weapons and equipment from a merchant who appears throughout the game. Resident Evil 4's gameplay is one of its most defining features, and it has set a high standard for the survival horror genre. The game's mechanics are easy to pick up but challenging to master, and the pacing is expertly crafted to keep players engaged from beginning to end. The game's combat is a significant improvement over previous Resident Evil titles, with a fluid and responsive system that allows for quick and satisfying gunplay. Leon can move while aiming, dodge enemy attacks, and perform melee attacks with his knife or other weapons. The enemies, called Ganados, are aggressive and intelligent, often working in groups to surround and overwhelm the player. They can also mutate into more powerful forms, adding an extra layer of challenge. One of the most exciting features of Resident Evil 4's gameplay is the variety of weapons available. Leon can purchase and upgrade a wide range of firearms, including handguns, shotguns, and rifles, each with its own strengths and weaknesses. The game also features unique weapons, such as the mine thrower, which can be used to set traps for enemies. The player must carefully manage their inventory, deciding which weapons to carry and which to leave behind, as space is limited. Another key gameplay element is puzzle solving. The game is filled with intricate puzzles that require exploration, observation, and critical thinking to solve. These puzzles provide a welcome break from the intense combat, and often lead to valuable rewards such as new weapons or health items. Resident Evil 4 also features a merchant, known simply as the Merchant, who can be found in various locations throughout the game. The merchant sells weapons, ammo, and other items, and can even buy unwanted items from the player. He provides a much-needed respite from the action and allows players to stock up on supplies before moving on to the next area. The game's progression is linear, with each chapter leading to a new location and set of challenges. The pacing is well crafted, with moments of intense action followed by periods of exploration and puzzle solving. The game is divided into 5 chapters, each with its own boss fight that provides a satisfying climax to the section. Another new addition is the inclusion of a new Game Plus mode, which allows players to replay the game with all the weapons and upgrades they obtained in their previous playthrough. This mode provides a good incentive for players to return to the game and try different strategies with their upgraded weapons. Overall, Resident Evil 4's gameplay is a masterclass in survival horror mechanics. The combination of satisfying gunplay, intricate puzzles, and strategic inventory management creates a challenging and engaging experience that keeps players coming back for more. The game's mechanics have influenced countless other titles in the genre, and it remains a beloved classic among gamers. One of the most impressive aspects of the remake is the visual overhaul. The game looks stunning, with highly detailed environments, characters, and enemies. The lighting is moody and atmospheric, creating a sense of tension and horror that permeates the entire game. The enemies, in particular, have been recreated in frightening detail. The Ganados, as they are called, are infected with a hideous disease that renders them furious and mutated. A kill will often result in a tentacled menace bursting out of their neck, which is both disgusting and terrifying. The locations in the game have also been greatly improved. What was once washed out and short of detail is now deeply meticulous and full of character and tiny touches that sell the world. The castle, in particular, looks unrecognizably improved, with no more tiling textures of identical brick, giving way instead to modeled rock and properly laid out areas. These changes make exploring the world of Resident Evil 4 more enjoyable than ever before. The sound design of the game is also highly impressive. The chittering and chanting of the Ganados create a creepy atmosphere, and the sound effects for weapons and enemies are punchy and satisfying. The music, composed by Shusaku Ukayama, is appropriately tense and dramatic, adding to the horror and excitement of the game. One of the highlights of the combat is the boss battles. The game's bosses are memorable and challenging, requiring players to use their wits and reflexes to survive. The knife fight with Krauser, which is no longer a QTE but a full encounter, is significantly more dramatic and cinematic in the remake. Players will need to dodge his attacks and find the right moment to strike to emerge victorious. Despite its improvements, the game still has a few flaws. The melee system, in particular, is still a bit janky, and some players may find it frustrating to use. Additionally, the game's story is still a bit thin, with little character development or exploration of the game's themes beyond the basic premise of fighting zombies and saving the president's daughter. Overall, however, Resident Evil 4 is a fantastic game that has stood the test of time. Even after nearly 2 decades, it remains a thrilling and engaging experience that is well worth playing. The game's gripping story, intense gameplay, and fantastic visuals all work together to create an unforgettable experience that is sure to satisfy any horror fan. Whether you are a longtime fan of the series or a newcomer to the franchise, Resident Evil 4 is a must-play game that should not be missed. Its unique blend of action and horror is unmatched, and its influence can be felt in many of the games that have come since. If you haven't played it yet, now is the perfect time to experience this classic survival horror game for yourself. Thanks for watching and see you guys next time.